All right, we are going live to YouTube. It usually takes a couple seconds once it starts the process to get us live and in person. And I think we are now officially live. Yay, us. So let me close this window and go back to you guys. And let's go ahead and talk about what we've done so far. So even though this is only the third day, it feels like it's a lot of days, doesn't it? We've covered a lot of material on the affiliate marketplace and a lot of different ideas on how to develop products and find products or develop your own products. We've talked about how to organize them into a squeeze page and then a front end product and then OTO1 and OTO2, and kind of gave you some ideas of what you could do with that. So the next step is to actually start thinking about, once we've got a product and we've got all the different things that we want to have in our product, the squeeze page, the front end product, the OTO1, the OTO2, now is time that we start to put a blueprint together of what we want our sales pages to actually look like, right? Just a second. There we go. So that's what we're going to work on today, is putting a blueprint together and putting a general outline of what are the actual pages that we need to be able to sell our product on the affiliate marketplace. So all the affiliate marketplace is a place that you can sell the product, but the sales pages are going to be just regular old web pages that you need to create for each product that you're going to have on the market. So for every single product that we have, we need to have a sales page. And then we need to figure out, how are we going to deliver that product? Do we want to deliver that product with maybe a PDF document, or do we want to deliver it through like an e-learning type platform, or do we want to deliver it through a membership area? There's a lot of different ways that we can deliver it. So the way I'm going to show you is actually through a membership area. So what's going to happen is they're going to purchase the product, and the action of going through the purchase of the product actually releases the membership area so that that person can go into the membership area and access their product. So we're going to set that up for this product. So there's a few things that we're going to have to do to make that happen. Okay. So I need to put a blueprint together to kind of see it before I build it. And to me, this is really, really important that you see it before you build it. Because what's going to happen is, if you don't blueprint it out, you're going to get stuck with, oh my gosh, did I create that page to sell this product, or did I create that page to sell that product? Was that the upsell? Was that the downsell? Was that the page that was supposed to go in the membership area? Was that the page that was supposed to do such and such? You'll get really, really confused if you don't put some type of blueprint together to at least get you started with building your pages and building the structure of how you want to do your sales pages and then deliver your product. So let's go ahead and talk about the ways you can do that in Builderall. Builderall has a really neat template that you can use to actually allow you to pull in blueprint images and blueprint out your website. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I'm going to go into my dashboard right here. And I'm in my test account. So that's where we're going to do this particular website. And I'm just going to go to Builders and Pixel Perfect Builder and New Website. And we're just going to create this website from scratch. I'm not going to have anything in the website. It's just going to be a blank website. So I'm going to choose blank page. And when I choose blank page, it actually comes out with several different options that are not necessarily all blank. And I like this option right here, the blank layout clean. That's one that doesn't have like anything on it. It truly is blank. And that's the way I like to start out things. So I'm going to click edit. And when I click edit, that opens up my editor so I can start editing. And the first thing I need to do before I do anything else is go ahead and save this bad boy. Because if I start working and then try to save, I may do too many things to it. And once I click save, it'll be like, nope, not going to save. And you'll lose everything you've been working on. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. And we're working on an affiliate website. So I'm just going to call this affiliate website 1. Fabulous. That's a great name. And I'm going to click send and then save. And now this is actually saved for me. So I can start working in it now, and I can click save to save my changes, and it will be saved to my site list. And I can go in at any time and continue to edit and continue to work on this website. So I just want you to remember from this that save is your best friend in the Pixel Perfect Builder, and you want to save often so that you don't lose your hair or your hair doesn't go gray and you have to color it like I do. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got so far. Now, all I've got in this website is a single page, and I can check that by going to my page icon. And here's my default layout. So I've only got one layout. And if I click this arrow, I've only got one page. So right now, this entire website consists of one layout with one page inside that layout. And on that page, there's absolutely nothing. So this is truly a blank website. It's about as blank as you can get. And before we go through too many things, I want to go through the Pixel Perfect Builder to make sure you understand all of the little icons that we have available to use when we're using the Pixel Perfect Builder. So I'm going to spend just a little bit of time. If you've been through my boot camps, you've seen me do this before. So hopefully this will be a refresher for you. If you're brand spanking new and you haven't seen it, then hopefully this will give you a really good idea of what all these icons can do inside of the Pixel Perfect Builder. So I'm going to start at the top right-hand side. We're going to go through this menu first. So right here, I've got a button called Panel. And this is a really important button if you are working in the e-commerce platform, because when you click this button, it'll take you to the control panel to be able to add your products, to add your categories, to add your taxes, your shipping, and all that kind of stuff. So the panel button is important if you're working in e-commerce. The save button is your best friend. I cannot stress that enough. As you're working inside the Pixel Perfect Builder, you want to click save often so that you don't lose anything that you've done in the builder so far. Preview is exactly that. If you click it, it's going to give you a preview of your website. And if you click return to edit, it will take you back to the editor. I also want to show you, if you click preview, you've got a really neat button over here called photo. And if you click it, it will allow you to take a full screenshot of your page, or you can choose to take an image of just a small section of your page. This is actually a really cool feature, especially if you're wanting to take an image of your website and then share it somewhere. You can take just a photo using this tool right here, and it will save it to your computer, and then you can use it later in something that you want to do with it. So that's a fabulous feature, is the photo tool. So returning to edit, the next icon is grid lines. If I click that, you see that it puts a grid line on the right-hand side, a grid line on the left-hand side, and then we've also got a grid line that shows us where our header is, and a grid line that shows us where our footer is. And then by default, we can see where our body is. Now, this is actually really important that you pay attention to the grid lines, because everything that you want your visitor to see needs to be inside these grid lines. Now, you can overlap and go over the grid lines, but there's no guarantee that the visitor to your website will see them, because it all depends on their monitor size. If they have a smaller monitor, they may not see the area outside of the grid lines. If they have a bigger monitor, like the monitor I'm on is a 17.3-inch monitor on my laptop. So my monitor goes pretty wide and it will go past those grid lines. But if you're on one of those little netbooks, right, that have like a 9-inch or 10-inch screen, you may not get anything beyond the grid lines. So the rule of thumb is that whatever you absolutely, positively want your visitor to see, you need to make sure that is inside the grid lines so they can see it. Okay, you can turn off those grid lines if they bother you by just clicking the button again and they go away. And then if you want to see them again, you just click it again. I like to keep them on because number one, I can see where everything's at to make sure all my important stuff is within the grid lines. And then two, it actually helps me to visually center things as I'm working on my website. Now we do have a center tool, but I may not want something exactly centered, but I do want it towards the center. So this helps me kind of justify things a little bit better in my brain, because I'm the world's worst about centering things visually, but the grid lines help me do that. So that's the importance of the grid lines. The next little icon is a ruler. And if you click on that, it's going to show you a ruler at the top, and it's going to show you a ruler on the right-hand side. And this, again, helps you to kind of space things out a little bit. But the best thing about it is if you click on the ruler, just do a regular left click, it will create a grid line for you. And that grid line, you can actually click on it and drag it back and forth. You can also do grid lines on the side. So you just click on there, and then you can drag that back and forth. And these are really important in helping you line things up really well. And the cool thing is that these lines are snap to. So if you've got an element and you're moving it close to that line, it will snap to that line and line up automatically. So it's a really cool feature to help you line things up and make things more aesthetically pleasing. I'm going to look at your eyeballs a minute and talk to you a little bit about aesthetics, because one of the things that I deal with when teaching people, new people about websites, is they just think they can just eyeball things and line it up and line it up and line it up, and then line this up and line this up. And I've done this enough that I can see like pixels off. And that is so, it drives me crazy. It drives me absolutely crazy. I don't know about you guys, but it drives me absolutely crazy when something's just a tad bit off. It just makes you uncomfortable. And even though you may not be thinking, oh gosh, that's 2 pixels off, your brain is thinking that's a little cattywampus. And it makes you a little uncomfortable. And when you're uncomfortable, you don't want to stay on a website. And I know you guys have seen these websites where it looks like a 3-year-old kind of slap things on there. And do you stay on those websites? I don't, because they make me uncomfortable and they're not professional. Use those grid lines. Use them. They're so handy, and they'll help you line things up, whether you're lining them up horizontally or vertically. And then your website will be easier on the eyes, aesthetically pleasing, and it won't make your person uncomfortable. Unless you're trying to do disruptive marketing, there is such a thing as disruptive marketing, where you do intentionally kind of off-center things and make things cattywampus, and that is to kind of make them uncomfortable. But you don't do that often, and you have to do it with intent. If you're not intending to be disruptive, then don't be disruptive. Organize things and use those grid lines, because they are very, very handy. So I'm going to go back to sharing. And once you're done with the grid lines, you can actually just right click them. So you just right click and they go away, and then right click again and they go away. So you can do as many of these as you want. So I can click here, click here, click here, click here, and then click here, click here, click here, click here, and click here. And wow, I've made a ton of grid lines. And you can see that now I'm going to be able to line up things exactly where I want them. I can move the lines around if I need to put them exactly where I want. And then when I'm all done with the grid lines and the ruler, all I have to do is click the ruler icon again, and they'll go away. And if I need them again, I just click it again and they appear. And then when I'm done, I can click it and they go away. So this is a fabulous tool to help you really organize your website and make it aesthetically pleasing. So the next icons are undo and redo. And these are exactly what they say. You can undo something that you've done, or if you undo something, you can redo it. I haven't had a whole lot of luck with this being exactly perfect, so I don't use it very much. But every once in a while, I get myself in a pickle and I need to undo. So I'll click undo and it will work. But I don't use them very much. So one of the things that I do if I make a mistake is I just go and delete the item and then go in and make it again. But you can try undo and redo and see if it works for you. It's just kind of every once in a while it's glitchy. Anybody else have that same experience? I don't want to be the only one that says that. So yeah, Roberto has said yes, Cedric yes, David yes, Tyra yes. So it's a little glitchy, Use it at your own risk for sure, but very seldom do I actually use it because it is kind of glitchy. And sometimes I'll click undo and it doesn't look like anything's been done, but it'll undo something that I did like 10 tasks ago. So I don't use it because I just don't quite trust it yet. But that's my take on the undo and redo. And let me share my screen again. And the next icon is show hidden elements. Now this one is actually really cool because I can actually hide elements that I don't want to see on my website. So let's look, for example, I'm going to just go to plus and I'm going to go to boxes and I'm going to create a Shelly box. So this is the Shelly box and I use the Shelly box for a lot of things. And once I'm done using the Shelly box, I don't want it to be on my website so my web visitors can see it. So all I do is right click it and I go to hide. That's the little eyeball with a slash in it. And when I click that, it actually hides it. So it's still there. It's just hidden so that I can't see it right now. And if my website visitors visited this website, they couldn't see it. If I want to bring it back, I just click the show hidden elements. And there's my box right there. I can take a look at it. And that's what it looks like. It's like, yep, that's my box. And then I can click this little arrow and I can make it return back to the page. So that is a fabulous tool. And one of the things that I do with this tool, I'm going to stop sharing again so I can look at your eyeballs, is I keep track of the colors that I use for the website. I use my Shelly box. I also use a Shelly bar. And all of those things I use consistently in just about every single website. So what I do is I create them and then I hide them. So I can always unhide them and use them when I need them and then hide them back. And I'll show you guys the Shelly box, how I use it, the Shelly bar, how I use it. And then I'll also show you how I save the colors for my websites as well. So it's just a way to hide things that you can bring back if you want to, but kind of keep track of what you want for your website. So that's an idea. That's what I do. If I'm doing a website, there's things I want to keep track of, like my color codes. If you guys have ever worked with colors, it is a stinker to try to find the exact right colors to go together. So when you find them, you want to keep the codes so you don't lose them. So that's exactly what I do, is I put the codes into a text element and then I hide the text element. And anytime I need to go back and look at what those codes were, I can go and unhide it and all of my codes will be there for me. You can use the same idea if you're making notes about your website. So let's say you're building a website for someone and you want to kind of keep a running dialogue of what's happening and what you're doing. You can do that through either a extra layout and keep track of things in that extra layout, or you can actually do just a text box and make your notes in the text box and then just hide and then unhide and update and hide again. That way you can kind of keep track of things that are going on, and definitely it won't affect anybody that's visiting the actual website. Only you will be able to see it when you unhide it, and then you can hide it again. So it's just a tool to be able to use to help you with your website. All right. So I'm going to go to share again, and we've talked about the show hide. Oh, I got a question. Go ahead.
Quick question. Has Builderall got a palette like the old WP has?
Yes, I'll actually show you the color palette and how we can use it to organize
brilliant.
our colors.
Great stuff. Thanks, William. Thanks.
Yeah, you betcha. On these show hidden elements, when you click on it, it opens up this box, and it can be tricky to figure out how to close the box. It's actually really easy. You just click that icon again, and it's gone. So click it to open it, and then click it again to close it. It's kind of tricky. Sometimes when you open it up, you're like, dang it, I'm clicking all over and it won't close. All you got to do is click that icon again, and it will close for you. The next thing is the backlight. This is actually a flippin' cool feature that a lot of people don't know about. And what it allows you to do is change the color of the background when you're working on a website to be able to see the actual live platform better. And it doesn't really help you with the desktop version, but on the mobile, I want you to notice that when I look at the mobile version, there's the mobile outline. It's in white. And then, of course, the background is in white. So it's really hard to see when you're working in mobile, you know, the outline and everything, because everything is just like white. It's crazy. So if you click the backlight and change that background color, it actually helps you to see that mobile area better, and you'll be able to edit it a lot better. If that gray is too dark, you can actually click the backlight again, and it will lighten it up a bit, and that will help you. And then if you want to go back to white, you can click it again, and that takes you back to the solid white background. But it's just a way to kind of darken the background a little bit, so what you're working on is kind of brought forward and you can see it better. So that is most helpful if you're in the tablet editing mode or in the mobile editing mode. So I'm going to go back to desktop, and here's our little Shelly box again. And I'm going to change the color of the Shelly box. I'm going to go to appearance and colors, and I'm going to change it to white. There we go. So what that does is, because the background is white and then the box is white, everything looks exactly the same. So all I can see is that outline right there. So the next button I'm going to talk to you about is the change border. So let's pretend like the background of this page was about the same color as that green outline. So that green outline would be really, really difficult to see, right? Very difficult to see. So you can actually change the colors of the borders so you can see them better. So if you click that icon, change border, you can see that now it's changed the color to blue. So now I might be able to see it better if my background was green. If I don't like the blue, that doesn't help me. I can click the button again, and that changes it to a gray color. If that doesn't help me, I can click it again, and that changes it to a white color, which of course really doesn't help me right now. And then I can click it again, and it takes it back to the green. So that is just a tool to help you see those borders a lot better. Because when you're working in this platform, you need to be able to see where your elements are. And if you cannot see it because the border color is about the same as the background color of what you're working on, then you just click that change border button, and you can change the color and hopefully see the borders a lot better. So use that tool if you need it. It's there for you. So that's all of the buttons right there. The next thing I want to show you, if I change that, I'm going to copy this box right here. There we go. And I'm going to change that box. We'll change this one to blue. So appearance, I'm going to backtrack and change it right here. And then change the color to blue, because blue is my favorite color if you guys don't know that yet. So blue and okay. So now I've got a white box here, and I've got a blue box here. And I want you to notice when I click out of that white box, I can't see it unless I hover over it, right? I just can't see it unless I hover over it. So there's a box there that I can't flip and see it. So here's one of the things that I do with my Shelly box is sometimes things are hidden like that, and I need to be able to find them. And here's a good example of why. If I take this box and push it down, okay? And so now I've got this box right here. And then I click out of it. I can't see that flipping box unless I'm hovering over it. And if I try to take the footer and pull it up, it won't go past that box. But I can't see the box. So sometimes if you're trying to pull that footer up by clicking and dragging the footer and it gets stuck, that means something's blocking it. And it's something that you can't see. So what I do is I always have a Shelly box, and one of the uses that I have for it is to just kind of go around and drag. And you can see when I drag, I find that box. And when I find that box, I'm like, oh, that's the thing in the way. So I can't drag my footer up. So then I can actually find the box, move it, delete it, whatever I need to do, and then I can drag my footer up. So the Shelly box for me is a way to find things that are maybe invisible, that are causing me to not be able to move things or do things that I want to do. So that's just a little tip, is using that Shelly box to find things, okay? Another thing that I do with the Shelly box, this is a really cool feature, is I'll put it up in the right-hand corner. And when you click save and then go to your live website, it can take up to 5 minutes for the changes to appear. And it can drive you nuts trying to wait for the changes. And once the changes appear, sometimes the change you made isn't something that you can see. It's just an internal thing that you've changed, not a visible thing that you've changed. So what I do is I have the Shelly box here, and I just change the color of the Shelly box. I go to appearance, and I might change the color to a pink, and then I click my save button. And then when I go to check the live version, when I see the pink box, that means it's gotten my changes, and I can actually start testing whatever it is I changed. Because then I know that whatever I changed, it's actually taken effect because my box turned pink. Okay, the next time I make a change, I'll change the color of the box again, and then refresh my live site until I see the new color of the box. And then I know it's got the new changes that I made, and I'll test it again. You guys will find out that when you're working in the system, you're going to test, retest, test again. And it drives you nuts to try to figure out, okay, did it get the changes or not? Especially if you're changing something that's not visible. So that Shelly box will actually help you a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and look at your eyeballs and make sure that you understood that. So everybody understand the use of the Shelly box?
Yeah, quick question. Okay, with the border, when you had the border basically invisible, it was blocking the
footer.
The footer from going up, right?
Right.
If you have it hidden, will it still block?
No.
So Grant,
if it's hidden, that means it's not really present on the page, so it won't block. You can't see it, it won't block anything.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, that's a good question.
Thank you.
Any other questions, you guys? All right, let's keep going. All right, so we talked about the Shelly box. We talked about all of those little icons. This area right here is just a drop-down box so you can navigate between pages. So as you start adding pages to your website, it's going to show you the layouts that you have, and it's going to show you the pages that you have. And all you have to do is click on a page, and it will take you to that page so you can start editing that page. So it's just a quick way to get from one page to the next to edit. And it's a great feature. I love that. It does take a little bit longer to load from this direction than it does going from this direction, but it's still a great feature to have. So now we're going to go to the left-hand side to the top. And we've got some icons over here. The first icon is the desktop icon, and this is what allows us to edit the desktop version of our website. Then there's the mobile icon. This is what allows us to edit the mobile version of our website. And we will go through and actually talk about how you can edit the mobile version. The next icon is it's called Unable Drop. And this is a feature that you're going to use with the mobile version. And what it does is it takes all layers and actually kind of smooshes them together. And instead of being layer, it actually kind of puts it all together as one image. And that way it actually loads faster. So you can actually click that and you can enable it. And I think it's enabled by default. So this would be disabling it. But when it's enabled, it will allow that mobile version to, instead of loading layer, kind of scrunch everything down into kind of one layer like an image, and it loads a lot faster. So that's just a tool. If you want to disable that, you can, but I wouldn't. I would leave it enabled. The next button is the adjust items. This is what you can use when you are editing your mobile or tablet version. When you click on it, it allows you to take all of what's on the desktop and adjust it for tablet or mobile. And I always use just copy desktop. And what it does is it makes a copy of the desktop and tries to fit it as best as it can inside of the mobile area. And it's sometimes really good and sometimes not so good. So we'll talk about how to edit mobile as we're going through the process of creating our pages. Okay, so no worries about that. We're gonna touch on how to edit the mobile later on. Now, one thing you'll see missing is you don't see the tablet version. We can actually enable the tablet version to be able to edit, but automatically it's responsive. So it will take the desktop version and shrink it down to fit the mobile version, or sorry, the tablet version. So it automatically does that. So there's no reason to have to go in and edit the tablet version if you don't want to, unless you want the tablet version to look a very specific way. And then you can actually create the tablet version yourself and make it look different than the desktop version if you want to. But if you don't want to go to the trouble and edit it, you can just let it be responsive and just let it shrink everything to fit the tablet version. Now, when we go to mobile, it's going to be a little bit different because mobile is adaptive, meaning it's not going to be able to take what's on the desktop and shrink it effectively. So you're going to have to go in and tell it the way you want the mobile to look like. And that's a little work, and it can be a little frustrating, but I'm going to try my best to give you some tips and tricks to make it as easy as possible. Okay. So if we want to turn on the tablet version, all we need to do is go to the double gears, and we go to website settings. And then from here, we've got the tablet mode setting. And right now it's set to no. If I click it and say yes, and then click save, there's our tablet version. And we can click that and we can edit it if we want to. But I promise you, it's very responsive and it works really good changing the desktop version to fit the tablet. So there's not really a need to do this unless you have a specific need. So it's okay to go to website settings and set the tablet version to no, and then save, and let the tablet version be responsive. So then all you really have to go in and manually edit is the mobile version. Okay, so that's that particular toolbar. Now we're going to go ahead and look at this toolbar here. And the first one is the page icon. And I'm going to go back to desktop view so we can take a look at it. When I click the page icon, the first thing it shows me is my layouts. And I have one layout here. And a layout is a collection of web pages. And this collection of web pages, every single one of them is going to have the same header and the same footer. So if I take a look inside that layout by clicking this arrow, right now I've got one page in that layout. And this page has this header and this footer. And then, of course, it's got the body. If I add another page in this layout, it's going to get the exact same header and the exact same footer. That's the importance of pages inside of a layout. If you want a different header and a different footer, you're going to have to create a new layout. That's just the long and short of it. There's no way to create a different header and a different footer for pages that are in the same layout. So why is this important? Let me take a look at your eyeballs to let you know why it's really, really important. When we have multiple pages inside of a layout, if I put a menu on the header, every single page gets that menu. So now you've made it really easy for that person to navigate, because no matter what page they go to in that layout, they're going to have the same menu in the same place. How many of you guys have gone to a website and you've gone to one page and the menu's at the top, and then you go to another page and the menu's on the side, and then you go to another page and the menu might be at the bottom? You're like, how do I navigate this thing? What do I do? That drives the user crazy. So when we're talking about menus and navigation, we need to be very aware that it needs to be as easy as possible for your user to navigate around from one page to the next to the next. So when you're using a layout and you put a menu on that header, every single page in that layout is going to get that same menu. That is huge. That saves you so much time. Isn't that way better than if you've got 10 pages in a layout that you have to manually put that menu on every single page? And then if something changes, you have to manually go in and change all 10 menus on all 10 pages. But with this system, where the header is the same and the footer is the same, you can put the menu up there one time, and if you make a change, all of the pages get the change. So it's absolutely fabulous. But it is really important to understand, because if you start to create a website that has multiple layouts, now you have to figure out how do you get them from one layout to the next and have different pages, different layouts, different setups, right? navigation is probably one of the hardest things to master and make it as seamless as possible for your visitor. And we'll talk a little bit about navigation here, but there's a whole lot more you can learn about navigation. Okay? All right, so just so you know that, all the pages in a layout have the same header and the same footer. That's an important thing to remember. The body of the page, each page is different. Okay, but the header and the footer is going to be the same when it's in the same layout. All right, I'm going to jump back in and share. At any point, I can add layouts because right here I'm in the layout area. All I have to do is add a layout. So if I go back to all layouts, there's my default layout. And I can add a layout by clicking this right here. And adding a layout, it actually adds that layout right there. And then I've got a whole nother set of pages that I can have a different header and a different footer. So what are some examples of when I'd have a different header and a different footer? So I may have a front end default layout that has a menu on different products that I have, right? So I may have a product that is a YouTube training, and then another product that is a Facebook training, and then another product that is a Fiverr training. And then the YouTube training is in its own layout. So it has its own menu on navigating through the pages inside of the YouTube training. And then the Facebook training is in its own layout. So it has its own menu of how to navigate through in the Facebook training. But then there's always a home button inside each of those layouts to go back to the default layout so that I can go back and pick a different layout to go into, and then go back and go into a different layout, and then go back and go into a different layout. So you always want to be able to really think about navigation and how you're going to get into these layouts and then back out of the layouts and be able to navigate wherever you want to go. Okay? Does that make sense? I see a few maybe confused faces. Are you guys okay? Okay, good, 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 good. All right, let's jump in and take a look again. All right, so when I go into my layouts, there's my default layout. If I click that arrow, I'm going to go into the pages. So here's my pages right here. And at any time, I can actually add a new page by clicking right here. And that allows me to add a page. So when I go to this area, these are the settings. So let me go back. I'm going to go back. This is the layout. If I click into the layout, these are the layout settings. So I have a few things I can do with the layout. Okay. I can delete the layout. I can change the background of the pages in the layout. Oh, I got a question. Go ahead. Terrence, you got a question? No? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mute you, and then I'll jump back in. Fabulous. All right, so if I want to change the background of all the pages in the layout, I can actually do that right here. I just click that button, and then I can change all the pages. I can only change the pages on the desktop view, on the mobile view, and I could change the color of the background, the texture of the background, and this is going to change all the pages in that layout. Okay, be careful with that. That is a superpower that you want to be very, very careful with, because when you change that, when you go to try to figure out why is the background of that page blue for every single one of my pages, you may not remember that you did it in the layout settings, not in the page settings. Okay, so be careful with that one. The next one is the font. You can actually customize the fonts that are available in this layout. So there's a default group, and you can change the default group of those fonts. It's actually really interesting what you can do here. We may talk a little bit about this. This is kind of a little bit of an advanced feature. I would keep the default groups for now, and once you learn more about fonts, you can play with those. Then there's layout settings. This is an important one right here. If you click on that, these are the settings for the actual layout. This is where you can create a favicon. And if you take a look up here on this tab at the top on my browser, there's a little image right there, right? That little image is called the favicon. and you can actually add your own favicon to appear in that little tab. So that's a really cool feature. Then you can title your layout. So we'll title this affiliate marketplace product. Okay, and this is SEO sensitive. So if you can use keywords, put your keywords in there. And then in your description, again, the description, oops, let me go back to it. Sorry, you guys. In the description, it is keyword sensitive. So if you are able to add your keywords in the description, that will help you with your SEO or search engine optimization. Then you've got an actual keyword area. Just put your keywords in, separated by a comma, and that will help you with SEO. Then you've got meta tags. This is a little bit of an advanced feature, but there are some great videos out there to explain what meta tags are and how they can help you. And then if you've got a Facebook pixel script that you're using to be able to track the analytics for Facebook, you can actually put that script right here. And then any other analytics like Google Analytics, you can put those scripts right here. And then any other scripts like the browser notification script, well, maybe not that one because that goes on the page, but any other script that you need to add to your page or add to your layout, you can do that right here. And then down at the bottom, there's a Mailing Boss integration. That's a little bit advanced, but there are some videos on how to integrate Mailing Boss. You can use some pretty neat tricks there. So all of that is layout settings, okay? So you configure those, and then once you're done, you have to click the little save right here. And then once you click the little save, you always click the big save, because big save is your friend for sure. And
we have a piece of photograph paper, don't we?
Quick question.
okay, go ahead.
I noticed the Facebook pixel. Where do you get that?
You have to go on to Facebook, and if you do a Google search on how to get your Facebook pixel, there's a bazillion YouTube videos on how to do that.
Grand job. I'll look into that. Thanks a million.
Yep. But that'll help you track who's hitting your page, which is fabulous. Because once you start collecting that information, then you can start targeting the people that are hitting your page. So if you start collecting data and you're finding out that it's mostly men aged 25 to 35, they're married and they have a job, now you can do a Facebook ad that targets those kind of people, because those are the ones that are visiting your page. Okay. All right, next thing, go to share. Once we kind of check out layouts, there's one last little icon, that is the padlock icon. This is the one that will allow you to protect your layout. And what I mean by protect is you restrict access to that layout to only people that have permission to get in. And by permission, that means they've either signed up using their name and email, or you've given them permission manually, or they've used a token, or they're a member of Builderall, or they've gone through a purchase process and they've bought your product, and that's what gives them access to this restricted area. In this course, you're going to learn how to do a restricted area and then give them access through them purchasing through the affiliate marketplace. So you're going to learn some really neat stuff on how to restrict the layout so that the only way they can get in is if they buy your product. And that is the only way. Okay, so that's a really neat feature. So that's what all you can do with the layout settings. Now, if I look at the page and I go to this little gear right here and click that, I can look at the page settings. So I've got some buttons right here. I can delete the page. I can actually change the background of just this page. Remember, in the other layout settings, we could change the background for all of the pages in the layout. This button changes the background only for this page. This button actually allows me to do some analytics, including A/B split testing, which is really, really cool. That's a little bit advanced, but it's not hard to figure out. This button allows me to transfer a page between layouts. So if I have multiple layouts and I want a page to be moved to a different layout, I can use this button and transfer it. And then this button is duplicate. So if I have a design of a page that I like, I can actually duplicate that page and then make a little change here and there to change it the way I want it. A good example of this is the boot camps. I have each page for each day already created, and all I do is copy the previous day's page and then update it with like yesterday's day 2. I will copy yesterday and call it day 3. I'll make a couple of changes and it will actually be ready to go. That way I don't have to do it from scratch every time. So Duplicate is a fabulous tool to use when you're creating pages. I have a configure pop-up. So if you want to pop up on this page, you can actually configure that here. And a pop-up you can set up to appear when they get onto the page, when they scroll down to a certain point in the page, after a certain amount of time on the page. So there's a lot of different settings you can do for a pop-up. And I actually have a YouTube video out there that's called Fun with Pop-ups. So if you want to watch that, you can learn a little bit more about pop-ups. And you can name the page right here. So we'll name this page, what are we going to do? This is the coaching. So coaching series. There we go. So we'll call this coaching series, and the address I'm going to put in all lowercase letters. So coaching series. Fabulous. And then the title of the page, I'm going to do the exact same name, coaching series. Fabulous. And then I can do a description. And remember, in the name, title, and description, it's keyword sensitive. So you want to be trying to slide your keywords in there so that you can get some of that SEO action or search engine optimization. And then also in this particular field, you've got keywords. That'll really help you in SEO as well. So make sure you put your keywords in there. And then
many keywords?
right here, oh, you got a question? Go ahead.
How many keywords would you go for normally?
I would definitely target a couple of big keywords, like social media explosion, one of the products that I did recently. I was going for the keywords of social media and social media explosion. Builderall is really good at hitting on the long tail keywords, the short ones, the just the single words and maybe a few double words that are really popular. Builderall is not going to be able to do as well because the competition is so tight for those.
Yeah.
But if you can do long tail keywords, Builderall does really well with long tail keywords.
Yeah, I like the long tailed ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So
thanks, William. Sorry for interrupting. Thanks.
No, that's okay. Get you some long tail keywords in there to go ahead and SEO optimize. And then you've got a preview on Google. And if you click update, it will actually show you what this is going to be looking like. So right now, if I shared this, it would look a lot like this right here. It'd look like affiliate marketplace product, and then a little pipe sign and coaching series. And this is the way it would appear on my tab as well. It's a combination of the layout name plus the title of the page. And just to give you an example, let me go to Builderall Bootcamp. So builderallbootcamps.com. If you take a look at the tab across here, I've got the layout name as Builderall, and then the page name as Bootcamps. So when you put that together, it's Builderall and then the pipe sign and Bootcamps right on that tab. And then also you can see I've got a favicon on there too, which is a Builderall logo with kind of like a fire around it. You can't really see it really well because it's so tiny, but that's how you can manipulate that tab to look how you want it to look, is add your favicon and then add the whatever name you want for your layout and then the name of the page. So you can see that I've manipulated what this looks like completely on the tab. So it's not plain Jane like the little one right here that says default and then home, and then just a little paint symbol for the favicon. I've actually customized it for my site. Okay, so you can do that by manipulating that those page settings and those layout settings. Okay, then the share image. This is the image that's going to show if you share this web page on Facebook. Okay, so you can upload an image, and then whenever you share, that image will show on Facebook. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So I'm going to go to Facebook. So facebook.com. And let me see what I've got for Builderall Bootcamps. So I'm going to builderallbootcamps.com. And when I do that, it goes out and goes to fetch an image or pull in a share image. And hopefully it'll pull it in. See if it'll do it. Let me do the fully qualified domain name. HTTP. There we go. So you see it's pulling in a picture. Now the picture is really big, so I need to resize this so it does a little bit better on showing it. But it's gone out and it's gotten that share picture that I have available that I added to my website, and it pulls it in and shares it on Facebook. So that is another powerful tool you can use, is to add a share image that is a great image to share for your website. You can just upload that, and then from now on, whenever you share that website, it will pull that image in. And then of course, we've got an area for page head scripts. So if you've got something that requires a script to go into the head of the page, you put that script right here. And then you've got another mailing box area where you can do some tagging, and that's a little bit advanced. We definitely won't cover that in this class. But whenever you make a change to this, you click save. That's the little save. And then you need to make sure to go to the big save and save any changes that you made in the big save, because big save is your friend.
Question, Shelley.
Okay, go ahead. I'm going to stop sharing.
On the share image, does it tell you the size of the image has to be for it to fit within the share image frame?
It doesn't, but you can actually Google and say, what's the perfect Facebook share image size? And you're going to get some really good dimensions. So just kind of look that up and follow what they say. And it doesn't have to be exactly like this height and this width, because it will resize it. One of the biggest things I can suggest to do is just make it whatever they tell you to do, make it that, but then give you a little bit of extra room padding on the sides and on the top, because sometimes it kind of expands it or shrinks it kind of wonky. So make sure you got a little bit of extra space on the edges in case it does that. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. No problem. All right, let's jump back in. And we've talked a lot about the page icon and our layouts and our pages and how we can add new layouts and how we can add new pages. We do layout settings, we've got page settings. So the next thing I want to show you is the next icon down, which is text. If any of you guys have worked with Cascade Styling Sheets or CSS, you kind of know what this text area is for. And this is for setting the text for your website in one place, so that from then on, wherever you grab text and use it, it will be consistent throughout your website. So have you guys ever been to a website where they use 52 different texts? And again, that is not aesthetically pleasing. If you're going to see a Comic Sans, and then you're going to see an italicized text, and then you're going to see a Times New Roman text, all three of those are drastically different texts, and they don't mesh together very well. So if you're using a bunch of different texts, it will drive your visitor crazy, even though they won't really be able to say to you, I really didn't like your site because you used a bunch of different texts. What they will say is, it just didn't work. It didn't look right. And it's because there's many texts that just don't go together. So in this area, you can standardize your text for the entire website. So when you click this button, it allows you to set the H1 text for your desktop and for your mobile. It allows you to set the standard H2 text for your desktop and your mobile, the standard H3 text for your desktop and your mobile, and so on. So you can set all your standard text here. And then whenever you grab a text element and you say, I want it to be an H1, it's going to look just like this. So that's a way to standardize it here. Now, do you have to go in and do this? No, because it gives you defaults automatically. You can see that it gave me a default already. So if that's good enough for me, then I can just stick with that. But let's say that I'm making a really wacky website and I want my H1 to be a little bit more wacky. So I can just click this area, and for the desktop version, maybe I don't want it that particular one. Maybe I want it this one. So see how it's changed it. And then instead of 55, maybe I want it to 65. And then maybe I want it both. And then maybe I want it purple because that's what I want. So I can actually set it here. And now every time I'm editing on the desktop version and I grab H1 text, it's going to look exactly like this. Okay. If I want to change it, then it's going to change it throughout the entire site. So if I change it here, everything that's identified as H1 is going to look like this. Okay, so it's really important to understand that, because every once in a while you'll go in and try to change this, and then you'll go look at your pages and go, wait, that's not what I set it to. Well, you actually changed it here. This is going to change it throughout the entire site for anything that's identified as H1. Okay, so I'm going to take it back to 55, just like this, and I'm going to take it back to Able, which was right there, and I'm going to take it back to Black, which was right there, and I'm going to unbold it, and then I'm going to close out of that. So now I've got my original back the way it was. Okay, so that's how you set up your standardized text for what you're going to use for your website. The next button is the plus button, and this is full of stuff that you can play with. So if I click the plus button, I've got pop-ups, I've got text, I've got auto funnel tabs, banners, boxes and lines, buttons, images, and so on. So these are all the elements that you're going to be able to add to your website. And there are lots and lots of them. I wish we could go over them today, but there's just no way we can cover all of them in a short training. That's for sure. In fact, Builderall Certified Partner Group, it took us about 2 months to get through the Pixel Perfect Builder alone. So there's a lot to the Pixel Perfect Builder and everything that you can do. So these are the elements that are in the plus sign. The next one is the double gears. When I click that, I actually have the ability to set up my GDPR configuration. I can create a sitemap. I can set up my website settings. This is where I turned on my tablet mode and then I turned it back off. I can also turn off my mobile mode and let the desktop version go to mobile, but I can promise you that's never actually pretty, so you probably don't want to do that. You've got a question, use scale for mobile devices. I can choose yes, and what that does is it takes the desktop version, and when you start to edit the mobile, it will scale it down for you and help make it a smaller size so it can fit. It isn't always perfect, but it does help. Then you've got the reply email. So if you set it up in the system so that you're sending out emails, it has a reply to email that's in there automatically for you. And the default is the ebusinessforus.com account. You can change that to your domain, your email. And then I always set this to no reply at, and then my domain name. That way, if they get an email and they try to reply, it will say no reply, which means I'm not going to reply to any messages that are sent to that email. That way, I don't worry about getting email messages to that email and having to check it all the time and reply. So that's just a trick I use, is no replies, so they know that you're not going to reply to it. The app language, I've got this as English, but you can change it to a multitude of different languages. And then your dashboard for your builder will actually be in a different language, which is actually really cool. And then how do you want to display your website title? This is what I was talking about right here, the Builderall Pipe Bootcamp. That's the layout first and then the page name. You can change that to the page name and then the layout name, or you can have only the layout or only the page. So that's another neat feature that you can kind of flip around here on the website settings. I actually like it layout page name, but you can do whatever you want. And then the separator that you want to put between the page and the layout name, I use the pipe symbol. That's the one that I like, but there's a couple more symbols you can choose as well. And then the mobile tab color, if you're on a mobile device, you can actually change the background color. And right now that is set to like a gray color, but you can make it like a bright red or something like that, whatever color you want. So those are the website settings, and this affects the entire website. So these double gears lead you to the website settings, and then again, this affects the entire website. So I'll close down that, and we'll go back to the double gears. Now we've got user management. When you click in here, this is going to show you all the people that have registered on this website. And registered means that you've set up either a registration button to be able to allow them to go into a membership area, or you've set up a checkout and they've gone through the checkout process and you have to register first. So you're going to have the ability to see who else registered for your website. And then you have the ability to give them access to specific layouts if you want to give them access. You can actually manually give them access or manually remove access. And I'm going to show you how to do that as we progress through this training. Then we've got manage user registration fields. When we create a user registration form, we can actually have different fields to collect information. The 4 default fields are email, first name, password, and then confirm password. You can add more fields by clicking add, and I can collect their last name, their physical mailing address. I can collect more information if I want to, but the standards are these 4, and you cannot delete these 4. This is the minimum amount of information you have to collect if they're going to register on your website. Okay. Then we've got an area to do coupons. And if you're selling a product and you have a checkout, you can actually create coupons that they can use to get a discount on the checkout. And then action counters, you can actually create buttons and create images with links that they can click. And you can manage how many times those items have been clicked. And it's kind of like an analytics that you can use to monitor where your items are being clicked, how many clicks you get, how popular certain buttons are, certain images, stuff like that. So it's a way to manage some basic analytics. Okay, so those are the double gear settings. The next one is the shopping bag. And when you click this, this allows you to set up your shopping and checkout information. So the first one is the payment manager. This one's going to allow you to set up your payment processor. And you can set up PayPal, Stripe, Braintree, or Authorize.net. And then we've got some external platforms you can work with, including JVZoo or ClickBank. And these are payment processors. So this is how you're going to receive a payment if a website visitor is buying something from you. Okay, so that's where you set that up. The next one is Sales Manager. So if you make any sales on your website, it's going to register those to the Sales Manager. And you can see who bought, what they bought, what the total amount was. If you've got payments set up, like a recurring payment, you can see that as well. And their status. Was it failed? Was it incomplete? Was it complete? And then you can click a button and get some details, and then you can export that information as well. So this is the Sales Manager area if you're doing sales and checkouts on your website. The next one is Manage Automated Email. When a person registers on your website, and they go through a checkout process, there's some automated emails. And if I click that edit button, you can see that we've got an abandoned cart email, purchase complete email, recurring payment email, and recurrence canceled email. And you can edit any of these. And we've got a dynamic toolbar, and we've even got some tags that you can use as well. So all of these are automated emails that go out during the checkout process when somebody registers on your website. Okay. Going back to the shopping bag area, we've got a sales funnel area. This allows you to set up a sales funnel in the system that has upsells and downsells. And this is kind of an advanced technique, but it is a really cool thing to have. And I will be doing a complete 7-day boot camp on how to do sales funnels. So this one's actually really cool. And then this one is create and manage coupons for your offers. So this is where you can add coupons to be able to set them up for checkouts. So that is the shopping bag. The next one is the blog app. So if I click on that, I can add a blog to my website. And once you click add a blog, it creates new pages in your website that are blog pages. And then it gives you even more features that you can do with your blog. And again, that's going to be its own boot camp this year. So be watching for that boot camp. And then the last icon is the shopping cart. And this is where you're going to set up your e-commerce store. And all you do for that one, real similar to the blog, you just click create store. And in the background, it creates all the pages that you need for your e-commerce store. And you can then use the new buttons that appear to edit the look and feel of that store. And then remember that first stop sharing a minute. So there we go. Let me go back and share. There we go. So once I create my store, remember I go all the way over to this button right here to panel, and that's what I click to manage my store products, categories, pricing, taxes, and shipping. So this area is going to create the store and the appearance of the store. And then this button, the panel button, is where I'm going to add my products, add my categories, taxes, and shipping and all that. So over here is the look of the store, and over here is actually putting the products in the store. Okay, so those buttons work hand in hand. So now you've got a complete rundown of the Builderall Pixel Perfect Builder. That's a lot to take in, isn't it? Do you guys have any questions about the Pixel Perfect Builder?
No, I've been working with it for a while, and then I've had this with you before, so I'm pretty comfortable.
Good. Yeah, you should be like this, Cedric. You should be like.
A little bit. I'm trying to stay a little bit.
Yeah, I hate it that part has to bore you, but for our new people that have never seen this before, this is, remember the first time you saw this, it was like, wow, oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
I didn't even know we had that button.
And it's not boring because I'm always reinforcing stuff because
Good.
That's good.
Good,
It's a good thing.
Fabulous. Fabulous. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go in and start to kind of get an idea of how to blueprint out our website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layout, and on that new layout is where I'm going to put the blueprint of my products that I want to work with. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to create a new layout, and specifically how to create a new layout that has the blueprint images. Okay, so let's go ahead and share our screen just like this. And I want to go ahead and go into my dashboard, and I'm going to go into all categories of websites. And when I look at all of the templates, there's a specific template I'm looking for. And if I scroll down, it may take me a minute to find it, but it's the template that has the blueprint images in it. So I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling, still scrolling because it's down a little ways. So I'm still, oh, there it is right there. It says template funnel canvas. So that's this one right here. So if you don't have this already saved in your site list, do that today. That's homework for you today. And to save it, all you do is click edit. And so I'm going to open up this in the editor. And it may take a minute to open. There we go. And you'll see that I've got a whole bunch of images here that I can use to create a blueprint to organize my thoughts on how I want to build my website. But right now, I just need to save it in my website. So I'm going to click save. And then I'm going to name it. So let's go ahead and name this blueprint images. There we go. Blueprint images. Okay, y'all remember that because I'll forget it. So blueprint images, and then send, and then save. Fabulous. Now I have it saved in my site list forever, so I don't have to try to find it again. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close that particular editor because I've got it saved in my site list. And now I'm going to go back to my my affiliate product website. And I'm going to go ahead and add a new layout, and I'm going to pull that in because I need that. So I'm going to go to pages, and here's my layouts. I'm going to add a new layout. I'm going to click that. And the first thing that gives me is the general layouts, right? These are all the layouts that are just templates. Well, I don't want to use any of those. I want to use my layouts. And in my layouts, I want to find the one that I just saved, which is the blueprint images. So let me scroll down and see if I can find it. There it is, right there. There's my blueprint images. So I'm going to click that. And there's my funnel icon. There's only one layout. I'm going to pull that layout in. And now I have to name the layout. I'm just going to name it blueprint, just like that. And then confirm. So now I've got a new layout pulled in. It's pulled in all of those images for me. And now I can start building my blueprint for how I want to build my website for this affiliate product. Okay, so this is actually a really cool way to make it so that you have a real solid blueprint to look at and refer to as you're building to make sure you don't make a whole lot of mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. That's going to happen. I'm going to tell you right now, your first one especially, you're going to go, why did I put that page there? Or why did I put that layout there? And you'll get confused, and that's perfectly okay, because that's all the part of the learning process. But this will help you stay as focused as possible, okay? So we've got a bunch of different page possibilities here. And the first thing I'm going to do is take a look at that Word document that I built. So I'm going to go here to my Windows thing, and I'm going to go to Word. Windows thing is a technical term. And then Affiliate Marketplace outline, and Shazam, there's our outline right there. So the first thing that I do was create a squeeze page, and that's where I'm going to do the giveaway report. So on my blueprint, I'm going to see if there's a squeeze page there. So let's see, I've got confirm email, one-time document, bloody, 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 blah, lead magnet. Oh, squeeze page. So right here is the image for the squeeze page. So I'm just going to copy and paste, and I'm going to bring that bad boy down here. And then I'm just going to kind of make it a little bit bigger so I can see it real well. And there's my squeeze page. That's going to be the first page of my funnel, right? Of my whole process. Once they go to the squeeze page and they put in their email and their name, the next page that I want them to go to is the front end offer, right? So it's just a sales page. So let's see if we can find a basic sales page. So I'm going to go looking. Let's say that we'll use this one. This one's the sales letter page. Let's see. This one. See. Yeah, I guess that looks like as good as anyone. Yeah. So I'm gonna copy and paste it and pull it down here. And we'll put that right there. There we go. So that's the sales page. And then once they go to the front end offer and they decide to buy that offer, then I want to send them to the OTO1 and the OTO2. So let me see if we have an OTO1. I'm not sure if we do, but we will find out. Looks like we may have to use a similar page. So I'm going to go copy paste and copy paste. Fabulous. So there's my front end offer, my OTO1, and my OTO2. Okay. So now we've got the beginnings of a great funnel, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some arrows. So I've got some arrow choices here, or I could, let's see, I think this is an arrow right here. It's a funky looking arrow. I don't like this arrow, but let's see if we can edit it. We'll go to appearance and we'll go to edit, and arrow color is red, and we'll make this one blank. This one blank. We'll make this a little bit bigger. That's really weird. Appearance. And we'll go through again. An arrow size. Let's look at this. There we go. Alignment. That. And border. Look at that. Oh, that's really weird. I don't like the way the arrow is looking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal an arrow. So I'm going to go here, and I'll go to Google, and I'm going to type in arrow PNG. And I'll go to images, and there's the arrow. That might work. Let's see. There's an arrow. Let's see if that's a PNG. No, it's got a white background, so we don't want to use that one. Lots and lots of arrows. Maybe that one's a PNG. No, yep, that's a PNG right there. So we're going to right click and save image as, and I'll go save it in my graphics, and we'll type black arrow pointing. Spell that right. Pointing right. So black arrow pointing right. And click save. Fabulous. And I'm going to just go back, and I'll take an image. I'm going to remove this one and we'll copy this one. And I'm just going to right click and change the image. And we're just going to upload that arrow. So I'm going to click upload. There's my arrow. Open. And then I'm going to click on it to activate it. So I get that little blue circle and then confirm. And there's my arrow. So I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller, like that. That'll work. And then I'll put that right there. And then I can just copy paste it, put that one right there, and stretch that out a little bit. And then copy paste it and put that one right there. And stretch that out a little bit. So now we kind of have an idea of what's happening. And the next thing I can do is actually start to label these things with the products that I want to put in them. So to do that, I'm going to go to plus. I'm going to go to text. And I'm just going to choose some smaller text, maybe this size right here. And let's see where it dumped it. Did it dump it in here? I don't know. There it is right there. And I can make this a little bit smaller like this. So it's about the same size. And for the squeeze page, I can click inside there, maybe. Text. And it's actually doing really weird things on the text box. And I'm so glad it did this, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to click save and save again. And we're going to save the changes that we've done so far. And now I'm going to do this magical thing called refresh and reload. And what that does is reloads the editor. I've saved everything, so everything should be saved from what I've done so far. But I'm going to reload it because it's acting all wonky. And when it acts all wonky, I'm the boss of this game, and I'm going to tell it what to do. so I'm going to go to page, and then I'm going to go into that blueprint layout again. And there I am. It saved everything I had, and now I click inside that box, and now I can edit the box. So that's what you do when it starts acting wonky like that, is just save everything you've got, reload it, and try it again. If just reloading it doesn't work, then try holding the control button down and hitting F5. And what that will do is reload it while it's clearing the cache. And then that's just another layer of checking to see if you can do something to resolve the issue. Okay. So that's just kind of some, yeah, that's just kind of some tricks to make sure it understands that you're the boss. So right here, I'm just going to add some text in here. We'll say lead magnet. And then I'll put that right. Oh, let me center it because I don't like it like that. So we'll center it. And then I'll put that right there. And then what I might do later on is actually add an image of the lead magnet so I know exactly what I'm giving away. So I can really spruce up this blueprint to really get a good idea of what I'm doing. So right now I've got the lead magnet there. Then I'm going to copy that text and I'm going to come over here. And this one's going to be the front end product, which is the front end project was the ebook. Fabulous. And then I've got the OTO one. So I'll copy and paste that there. And edit it. And I've confused my poor little thingy. So here we go. This is the OTO one, which was the video and audio. Fabulous. And then I'm going to copy that one again and put it over here. And I'll edit this one. And it's OTO2. And it was the personal coaching. All right. So are you seeing how our website is actually coming together? And we're starting to see the pages that we have to create. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So we have to create a lead magnet page. We have to create a front-end product page, an OTO1 page, an OTO2 page. And then everything is going to be delivered through the affiliate marketplace. But I think I do want to create like a member access page so that if they don't go through the affiliate marketplace to access this product, they come straight into the website that they'll be able to access straight from the website, not having to go through the affiliate marketplace. Does everybody understand that? Let me look at your eyeballs. So when we sell this product, it's going to be delivered through a membership area, and they're going to be able to access that membership area through the affiliate marketplace. What they'll do is they'll go through and they'll purchase, and then they'll end up back on the affiliate marketplace, and there'll be a button that they can push to go into the member area to access their product. But what happens if they go straight to the website? Do we want them to be able to access from there? My answer is yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, so what I want to do is actually create a member access page that has buttons to go into the member area. And then if they bought that product, they'll be able to get in. If they didn't buy the product, they'll get a message that says access denied. Okay, so that's my way of being able to give them the ability to get into their protected areas without having to go through the affiliate marketplace every time to get in. Okay, so I'm going to create another page called a member access page. Now, if you think about it, this page has to be in the unprotected area, right? Because I don't want it restricted. I want anybody to be able to get to it. But then when they click the buttons to be able to go to the restricted areas, those have to be restricted layouts where only the people that bought those items can get in. So that member access page has to be in the unprotected area. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so that default layout, that first layout is where I'm going to put that membership area page. Got it? Everybody with me so far?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know yet.
Yeah. Wait, did I hear not yet? Roberto, are you okay? Do you got it?
Yes, I don't know yet if I got it. So I need to wait until you are done because I'm totally
Okay.
lost. So
Good.
just
All
keep
it is, Roberto, is we're going to have each of those products in a protected membership layout, right? So the only way to get in is if you bought something.
Yeah.
But if I create a member access page where they can click buttons to go in, that cannot be in a protected area. It has to be in an unprotected area, right? So they can get to that page, but then when they click the buttons and they go into the protected area, they have to have bought the product to be able to get in.
Okay, got it.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Kind of. So we're going to make sure that this member access page is in the main first default layout so that anybody can get to this page. But if they click the buttons to try to go into the protected areas, they won't get in unless they pay. Okay, so let me put that on my blueprints. So I'm going to go back and share my screen. And I'm just going to create another page, and this one's going to have a few buttons on it. So let's see if we can find a page with buttons on it. We'll use this one. That sounds good. Okay, right there. And okay, I got it. And we'll make this bigger. And I'm actually going to call this, instead of a storefront page, this is going to be my member access page. So I'm going to click on here and member access page. Phantasmo. So I'm going to put that right there. And I could actually put a little box over this. I'm going to show you a cool trick. I'm going to go plus and box and box. And we're going to change the color of this box to white. And change the color to white, just like this. And then I'm going to change the size of it. And we'll cover up where it says storefront page. Because it's not really a storefront page. We're calling it a member access page. Okay, everybody got it so far? And then I'm going to layer this towards the front. So it goes over that box. Fabulous. Okay, so now what we're doing is we've got a lead magnet page. That's going to send them to the front end product. They can buy the front end product. If they do, they'll be sent to the OTO. They can choose yes or no. They'll be sent to the OTO too. They can choose yes or no, and then they'll be sent to a member access page where they can actually access the items that they purchase. All right, so everybody good with it so far?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a lot to do. We still have to think about the membership areas that we're going to create for our front end product, our OTO1 and our OTO2. All of those have to be in different membership areas. So we'll work a little bit on that tomorrow. We'll talk about how to set that up. And then we'll start actually setting up our pages and configuring our pages before we set up everything in the affiliate marketplace. Okay, so we still have a lot to do. Here's what I want you to do tonight. Okay, this is your homework for tonight. I want you to start landing on something that you want to sell in the affiliate marketplace and start kind of mapping out, want to organize it in the marketplace. Do you want to do a squeeze page? Do you want to do a front end product with OTOs, or do you just want to do one single product? It's okay if you sell one single product. You don't have to do a whole funnel. You decide what you want to do and start landing on it and kind of figuring out how you want to map this thing out. So type it out first on like a Word document, and then go in and do exactly what I did here. Kind of start figuring out what pages you need to set up to be able to get ready to build your sales pages. And again, plan, plan, plan. You guys have heard that old line of measure twice, cut once, right? Well, this kind of works for building websites too. We want to build that blueprint and get a really good idea of what we want to do before we start building, so you don't get all discombobulated. Because once we start building, you're going to see layouts, you're going to see pages, you're going to see a lot of different things. And if you're not exactly sure the direction you're trying to go, you're going to get lost, and then you get confused, and then you'll abandon that one and you'll want to start over, and that's never good. You want to stick with the one that you start with and build that from the ground up, and really be building on purpose, not building accidentally, but building on purpose. And that's going to help you build a really good website. Okay, so that's the homework for tonight.
I have something that I want to ask, because I've been, working on my membership site, and I have some courses that I've done. And like I said, I've gotten some ebooks that I've written, and I probably want to take that and multi-purpose it, and then I've got some products that I want to sell on the marketplace. So I guess it's kind of like I'm doing one thing and it works with both.
Yeah, it absolutely does. You just have to decide in your mind, Davida, how you want to organize it to be able to sell. Do you want this thing to go into a funnel and do like we're doing here, where we have a front end product and then OTOs? Or do you want them to be individual products? Are they standalone products that you want to sell by themselves? There's so many different ways to do this that it's kind of up to you how you want to organize it to present it to your user. And whenever you do that, it's really important to really think about the flow, because obviously it wouldn't be good to have a lead magnet that was about underwater basket weaving and then have a course that you offered that was about skiing in the Alps. There's like no relationship, right? So whenever you put together a product, especially a funnel, you want these things to be connected so that it makes sense to go from the lead magnet to the front end product to the OTO1 to the OTO2, that everything flows and they complement each other. Okay?
Quick question, Shelley. Could you use an Amazon product as an OTO?
That's going to be an affiliate link, and you don't want to do affiliate links for your people that are going to sell your product for you. That wouldn't be possible.
Okay.
So it has to be your product that you're selling to be able to get affiliates to sell it for you.
Right, and say if you hadn't got affiliates.
Yeah, if it's just an affiliate product, you wouldn't really put it on the affiliate marketplace. You just put it in a website.
See, I'm debating, and I don't know who to discuss this with my idea, with my Ireland thing. I don't know whether it would be. It might be a very good product actually for affiliates.
Could be.
It might be.
I mean, yeah, it's really up to you. Is it something that you don't really want to sell yourself, and you're willing to pass off to somebody else that they can sell, and you're willing to give them a commission on it?
Well, you see, I'll be doing all the work eventually, so it's just that I wonder would anybody be interested in selling Ireland as a basically an hour's consultation? and getting
might
money to introduce. Yeah, it could be. Could be.
All you got to do is put some builders out and say, hey, I've got this product. Would you be interested in becoming an affiliate for it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why not? Why not? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. But there's
All
nothing
they
really
can do is
to
say
it.
no.
Yeah, true. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another really important thing. It's a good question. Is if you're not sure about something, do the research, do the polling. It's okay to ask questions. In the product that I created for Social Media Explosion, I asked a lot of questions of people. I'm like, if I had 365 graphics ready with business related and motivation related quotes, would that be valuable to you? And I got a lot of yeses. And then I said, how valuable? $19, $29, $49, $69. And this is before I ever created the product. It was just an idea in my little brain. And so I polled several different groups and got several answers. And from that, I actually got some good ideas on how I wanted to structure my product and put together my product and price my product. And then, of course, I went out and looked at similar products to see what their pricing was as well. So it is all about doing the research, and not just, you can get on vapor lock if you just try to do it in here, right? If you just try to do it in this space, it's only affected by what you know and what you feel and what you think. But if you kind of bring it out here and ask some questions and get other people to give you input, you do get a little bit different perspective. Always remember, though, that they don't have your vested interest when you're asking these questions. So always temper the answers just based on who you're asking, the group that you're working with, and stuff like that. Because if you go to family, their answers are going to be a lot different than if you go to like active marketing groups. Yeah. I cannot tell you how many times my family has just looked at me and go, they literally just go, and what is it that you do again, Shelley?
Yeah,
they
here
just
too.
don't know. Yeah.
I can 100% relate to that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if I ask them any type of marketing thing, or what do you think about this, or what do you think about that? Even my own husband, I adore my husband, but he is definitely not geared to do marketing on the
My
internet.
wife is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can ask him a question and he'll come up with the most off the wall answer. And
Yep.
so
Yep.
I literally have to tell him, no, Tony, I'm not going to do it that way. And
Yep.
he's thinking his marketplace, which he works with a company that's direct marketing, business to business marketing of products like snack foods. That's the company that he works for, is Campbell's Soup. So he delivers snack foods to grocery stores. He manages the people in a specific area. So his thoughts about marketing are little packages of food, right? Which is, and putting them on shelves and fronting them, pulling them up to the front so everybody can see them. Whereas we think of marketing as Facebook ads, YouTube, organic, paid, getting out in front of people, building a reputation. It's a lot different than a physical product that you put into a store.
But you're so lucky. You're so lucky. He understands sales. My wife's a school teacher. Don't.
That's true, but honestly, somebody that understands sales can be harder to deal with than somebody that doesn't know, because he absolutely knows his business. He knows it. He's been a sales manager for 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
So when you talk about, I talk to him a lot about online marketing, but it doesn't work the same. So there are times when he says, oh, you should really do this. It was actually funny because just a couple months ago, he goes, you really need to drop Facebook. It's going nowhere. And I was like, what? And he goes, it's going nowhere. You're not going to get anywhere with Facebook. And Facebook is one of my #1 ways to get leads, right? Besides YouTube, Facebook is #2. And I said, Tony, you don't even know what you're talking about. He goes, yeah, it's going nowhere. I mean, I've read the reports. Facebook is on the downswing. And I'm like, no.
Well, the difference is digital marketing and direct marketing are two different types of marketing.
They're very, very different. That's exactly right. So that's what I was trying to say. Be sure to temper any suggestions that you get based on where they're coming from. And don't really discredit, because I never really discredit what my husband says. I take it all in, but then because my expertise is the digital marketing, I can kind of temper that and say, okay, that is good for direct marketing, but for digital marketing, that's not going to work. So I can confidently say to my husband, no, I'm not going to do that.
But that's another webinar altogether. Do you know that? Having a
It is.
discussion with people and saying, this is my idea. What do you all think there, folks? You know, and then a person would have, say, 5 minutes to explain what they're doing. And then you get a thumbs up or a thumbs down or whatever, you know, and a little bit of constructive criticism can go a long way in helping you to get on with your business.
And that's where you have a lot of power, David, because you have the power, the superpower of creating a group inside of Facebook and calling it a mastermind, and then inviting those people that you like to come on in and mastermind with you. And then you guys can do this all together. It doesn't have to be a structured webinar by me or anybody else. It can be you doing it. And you can actually do that through Zoom. You can have, I think, up to 3 people for free on Zoom. And you guys can mastermind together and actually help each other that exact way. So you have that superpower.
Yeah, we should do it. Yeah, I'm gonna sign up for Zoom after this now. Yeah.
Awesome. Yep. All right, guys. Well, that's about all the time I have. Davida, go ahead. One more question.
One of the things that I'm doing is that I found that when on my podcast, when I did one on laws of attraction, it got a lot of listeners. So I'm going to create a program around that. And then some of the things I found on the PLR that kind of work with it is going to be the one-time sale or the add-on.
Fantastic. And you'll find out that those PLR products, even if you never take one out and like break it apart and sell it, they're fabulous resources to help you in your niche area. Even if, like I said, even if you never use it to actually sell, but if you start to write your own book or write your own course or do this or do that, whatever you want to do, it helps you to maybe get some ideas, right? Because you can look at some of these books and see how they have them outlined. You can say, oh, that makes sense that they taught this first and then this and then this. So even if you never use actual content, you're getting ideas from those resources to be able to do your own products and your own things, especially YouTube videos, little short training videos, little Facebook posts, all that stuff you can create in a jiffy because you've got all those PLR products as resources to help educate you and kind of keep you focused and direct. So definitely jump in there and check those out, guys, because they are more than just something you can sell. They're a resource that'll help you keep organized in your business. Okay?
Excellent.
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and go because I have to start the certified partners in about 12 minutes.
Okay.
So tomorrow we will continue to put our blueprint together. We'll be able to go a little bit faster now that we've jumped into the website builder and kind of covered all of that. David, you're definitely going to need your combat helmet on tomorrow.
I know, that's what I was just about to say. I'll have my M16 tomorrow as well.
You guys be ready, but I'm looking forward to see you again tomorrow. And remember, do your homework. Start thinking through a product that you want to put up on the marketplace and start organizing it so that you can take that and actually start breaking it up and building some pages and getting it on the marketplace. Okay, guys?
Awesome.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Everybody have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.